We're live. I pushed the button. It's a timing thing. I never really know when to push the button. Well, I guess I kind of do. We're live from New York City. This is Guitar Quackery Live, which means if you're watching me now, you're watching me live with a short delay. It's called latency. And if you're not watching me now, if you're watching me later, so when is now? Well, now is Saturday, November 2nd, 2024, 10:25 p.m. local New York City time, Eastern. Okay, so we have a Fender Telecaster. It's a 1984. It's been in storage for a while. And it needs to be brought back to life, I guess. Well, it's still a somewhat functioning guitar, but you know, the frets are all, you know, the strings are all corroded, the frets are all oxidized, and the guitar obviously needs a setup, but it needs a little bit more than just a setup. We'll be fixing the nut. I won't be, so this will be just part one of a series on this guitar. So there's a playlist if you want to follow this guitar. The playlist, I named it what? I named it the 1984 Fender Telecaster nut repair, something like that. We'll be doing an interesting nut repair procedure on this guitar. Here is my toolkit. Yeah, we'll be using dental composites. So this is the curing light. It's a UV light. It's not good to look at this, which is why I have this filter. You don't need to worry because this wavelength actually will not be replicated by your screen. But these, so what I have in this toolbox is my nut repair kit. Sometimes I do repair the nut in some situations. When it's a vintage guitar and we don't want to change the nut, especially if it's a bone nut. So dental composites are made for bone, enamel, teeth, whatever, you know, materials we have in our mouth. Bone is very similar, so dental composites do work really well with bone nuts. You can use them with plastic nuts. You can't use them with tusk. You can't use them with nylon. But plastic and bone is best, plastic is second best, right? But I won't be doing this in this part. This is part one. In this part, we'll be doing, in part one, which you're watching now, we'll be doing an assessment. And also, I will remove the strings from the guitar. I'll remove the neck. I'll do some preliminary adjustments with the old strings. I'll just adjust the truss rods, make sure it works, and remove the strings, remove the neck, and do a fingerboard prep and fret dressing, okay? And then because it is late, I don't really want to work too late tonight. So let's get started. First, let's do the assessment. Why are we repairing the nut? Well, there are some issues with it. One issue is definitely with the B string. Let's focus. Okay. This is a set of feeler gauges, and in this set I have one feeler gauge that's really, really thin. That's onion skin thickness. I use this sometimes to do the test I'm about to do. If I place this feeler gauge here and keep it loose, right? Keep this loose. Let me show you on the first string. I want it to go through, right? When I push down against the second fret. So there should be a little space there left. Focus, right? Now, when I do this on the second string, there is no space left, right? This string here is now touching the fret. If I push down on this string, there's a little space left. Space, space, and space, right? The G string is very close, but I believe there is a space. You see that? And I can even see the space when I tap, when I do a tap test, but no space on this string left here. So this is one reason why we need to fix this. Not only is there no space, it's actually cut a little bit deeper than if this was another fret, if that makes sense. And we can see here something black. So somebody was doing something around this nut. Well, I just received a text message, I think. Oh, yeah, it was a reply to my text message, because I texted a link to this live stream to the owner of this guitar. And I only have one person watching, so I know who that is. Later on, because this is now being streamed publicly, later on I might have other people join us. Okay? Yeah, one viewer. Okay, no problem. So let's go over this. So this is for the benefit of, well, I'm archiving these projects. So I just like to have an archive, which is what archiving is. All right, microscope. All right. That's the microscope. Here we are going to look at these string slots. Okay, right now we are looking at string number 1. Okay, a little bit too much light. Let's zoom in a little bit and focus. When a guitar sits for a long time, we tend to see a rust, okay? So this is why it's not good to just play a guitar after it's been sitting for a while, because if there's rust on the strings, what happens is a rusty string will start wearing down the fret more rapidly than a brand new string, because a rusty string is like a little rasp. We can clearly see how this is a rough surface. So when we fret it down and when we play, this is what happens. It rubs against the fret. And now we already have a little bit of fret wear here. Well, we're always going to have fret wear, but a rusty string wears down the frets more rapidly than a nice brand new string, obviously. Here. Oh, yeah. So if we look at this string slot, we can see there's rust inside of it. And let me take it out of the string tree and remove the string. And let's examine this string slot. So it's all dirty on the inside from, well, this is rust from the rusty string right here. Yeah. And I kind of don't really like the general shape of this. It seems like it's a little bit, well, maybe it's okay. I'm not really sure. I'll have to put it under the other microscope so we can look at this string slot at an angle, all right? That's that. Now, let's have a look at the B string. Focus, focus. So we were seeing some kind of darkening around it. I think this might just be a pencil, graphite pencil that was used for lubrication. Now, the question is, why did someone try to lubricate the B string slot, but not the other string slots? So there was a problem there. Now, I don't know what somebody else might have been thinking while they were doing it, but this string slot, as I just showed you, is cut too low. So that's definitely one of the, I believe we're filling 3 string slots on this guitar. One of the 3 that will be filling. So how do we do the filling? Just like a dental filling, we need to first remove material to expose fresh material, so we cut it even deeper and a bit wider. Then we fill it, and then we recut it. That's going to be an interesting live stream, which I don't believe will happen tonight. I don't know, maybe it will. But this is just part 1, the assessment and the fingerboard prep. Why am I doing the fingerboard prep before I do the nut repair? Well, because if I do any amount of fret leveling, that will reduce the heights of the frets by a very small amount. But because we are dealing with microscopic measurements here, I want to do the frets first, and then I'll be working on the nut. Let's have a look at the G string. Here it is. Again, let me remove it from the string slot, and like that. We see like a smaller channel at the bottom of a wider channel. So I don't know what the history of the guitar is, but it is possible that a technician worked on it, 2 technicians maybe, since 1984 when it was built, and that the second technician used a smaller file to cut a better string slot inside of a string slot that was initially wider and too shallow. Not sure. We'll clean this out, repair what needs to be repaired, and now let's move over to the D string. Here it is. Again, let me remove it from the string tree. Let's see how much it wiggles here. So there's a little too much play at the front. We do want to have this play at the back end, and this is what we see here. And here is something interesting. I'm not sure if what I'm seeing at the bottom is a filling, and if it is, I would assume that it is baking soda and super glue, which is what is commonly used for string slots to fill them, but it doesn't last. It can fail. It depends, I guess, if the technician cleaned the surface properly or not. If there was any lubricant and they just put a filling there, that's not going to last, okay? But if they did clean it, that would last longer. Let me see what this junk is here. Let me push it out. it looks like it could be a filling, right? So we'll have a closer look once we work on the nut. And let's put the string back, and let's move over to the A string, which is a problematic string slot. So why is this problematic? I think it should be obvious. It is really wide, so there's just too much play here. I don't know why it's been filed so wide, but here, let's remove it and let's look inside. Again, I'm not sure if what I see here is a filling from the front to about here. It looks like it could be a super glue and baking soda filling. Not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Put it back, and let's look at this one. That's the string. And this is what we see. Again, you know, it does look like a filling right there. It looks like the bottom isn't the same material or color that we see, you know, on the surface here. So it looks like this is a filling. What I'll do after I remove the strings, I will examine this nut with the other microscope, because it can rotate and we can look at it from the side, and sometimes we can see details that we can't see with this one. All right, so with the strings still on the guitar, I want to put the strings back here under the string trees. Let's look at the neck relief, because I forgot. I did look at it when the guitar came in, but honestly I forgot what I was seeing, you know. 8th fret and straight edge. Now I put the neck rest right here so that I don't add additional relief to the neck. And let's start with this one. There's way more relief than we want, right? So 14 1/1000ths on the bass side. $14 does not pass, $13 does not pass, $12 does not pass, really, $11 does not pass, $8 passes. So 8, 14. We have what's called a differential relief, with more relief on the bass side, which can be a good thing, actually. What did we say, 8? Okay, now why don't we make a small adjustment of the truss rod? We just want to make sure that it works. Where's my Fender? Here it is. This is a biflex truss rod, which means it's like a two-way truss rod. So we want to tighten it, but let's release it first, and now tighten it a bit. And let's see if we get a smaller relief, or even on this side. So here we had 14 on the bass side, which is this one. So let's see if we can still put it through. No. 13, no. 12 does not go through. 11 does not. 8 does. Okay, and now let's see. So the truss rod does work. Let's see. So here we had 8. Now it no longer goes through. 6 does not. 5 does not. 4. There you go. 4 goes through. So this is actually a really good neck, right? 4 1/1000ths of an inch, if all the frets are level, is fine. I usually go for 6, but if we have this kind of differential relief, we can have 4 and 8, as we do now, right? This was 8 on this side, if I remember correctly. So now that we know that the neck relief can be adjusted, that the truss rod works, we can remove the strings. Okay, so I have 3 viewers. One of them owns this guitar, the other 2 don't. AB Norma says, nice telly. Yep, it is a nice telly. I forgot to mention, it's not a string through. So we don't see the holes on this side. Oh, it does have a micro tilt adjustment, but it's strung through the back, okay? That's this bridge. They made these bridges, I believe, in 1983, 1984, I think for a couple of years. I don't know, I'm not really a good historian. What was I saying that we needed to do now? Remove the strings, I believe? Yeah. Okay. You can simply cut all the strings. It's not going to hurt the neck. I mean, imagine if you had a Floyd Rose system, right? You can do a deep dive. The strings are completely loose. It doesn't hurt the neck, right? So you can totally just cut the strings off. Nothing's going to happen to the neck. But what I like to do is I like to unwind them. And I do that to check that the tuning machines work. Because if they don't, if there's a problem, I want to know that before I do too much work on the guitar. That makes sense. Yeah, I can even use the power tool. So, you know, just to, because if there's a problem, I will be able to see it even with the power tool. So I just look for where's the switcher here? A full turn. So I kind of look at the post, and I want to make a full turn. And if there was no problem, that means that most likely it works. Of course, I'm doing the unwinding, I'm not doing the winding. So that could still be a problem when we're winding, right? All right, I am confident that the tuners are okay. Now I can just cut the strings off and remove them. The strings are very, very old. We saw all the rust on the strings. I recycle strings just to help the environment a little bit, the planet. So if you go on the Dario website, you can download a shipping label It used to be free, now you have to pay for it. But you can send the strings to them, and they will send it to a recycling facility. So something else will be made from the metal. I don't know what exactly. Okay. So these tuning machines, like I said, I do this to test them. I believe that the spacers are a little worn, or maybe they're just not. Maybe the screw needs to be tightened. That's it. Let's see. There's a spacer and a spring. The spring is just a washer that's bent. I think it's called a spring washer. But what I am doing now is an adjustment. So we want to make sure that they all feel the same. Not too loose, not too tight. This one is very loose. That's why it requires a few turns. So I don't necessarily do this adjustment every time I do a setup, but if I notice that they are all over the place, then obviously I will do this adjustment. Yeah. What we have here is we have a spacer, which is this, and then we have this spring-loaded washer. You can see how it's bent. So that's technically a spring. And when you tighten this screw, it compresses this spring washer. So you will feel the difference when you turn. The spacer is most often it's a plastic spacer, and sometimes they break, and then you might not be able to find a replacement. All right. I have a spacer here that's broken. Why don't I show it while we're at it? This is from another guitar, right? One of those plastic spacers. Okay. I keep it here because sometimes I need to show it to a customer and explain what it's all about. Let's pull some pulls away. Did I say pull? Put. How many people watching? 3. Okay. Better than nothing. If you'll excuse me, I need to drink some water. Now we'll remove the neck. Oh no, I wanted to show you the nut through the other microscope. I almost forgot. So we can look at it at an angle. Here we go. So this is what we see. No, what am I seeing here? Okay, sorry about that. I got confused. I got too many buttons. We are looking at the high E string, and so we see the finish on the side, which means it's the original nut. And you know, it's just like this string slot's been cut at an angle, right? Now the B string is the one that's been cut too low. And then we have the G. That's the one with a smaller string slot at the bottom of a wider string slot. Yeah. It's a bit rough. The D string. So we think that might be a filling at the front. I think it is. So we'll check that. If we need to, we'll repair it. This one we'll definitely repair because it's too wide. We don't want the string to wobble inside of the string slot. And this is the low E string. We can see at the back that the string is hitting the back, right? So this tends to be a problem with the low E string on Fender guitars because the tuning post is so close to the nut and the string just hits the back of the nut and then it hits this part of the fingerboard here sometimes. So it needs to be shaped better. Yeah. Now we will remove the neck. All right. We have 4 screws at the back. I will loosen the screws first by hand. And once they're loose, I can just use the power tool to speed up the process. Okay, since we're streaming, I guess I can show a close-up. That it? Here, so they're loose. Now let's just remove them. So these holes through the body should not be tight, right? The screw should go freely through the body and be screwed into the neck. So we'll need to enlarge the holes through the body. You see? Sometimes they're just lazy at the factory. But look at that, right? This is sometimes preventing a a good neck joint, right? That's that. And now let's put this away. I'm holding it like that. Okay. So we have that micro tilt adjustment. We have this label which came from here, and then a red label which means something. I don't know what it means, but these holes, these 4 holes, are too tight for these screws. So one thing we want to do right away is enlarge them while we're at it. I have a set of fractional drill bits of every size, of every imperial size. I should get a metric set as well. It's like 200, almost 200 drill bits in the set. So we can find one that is slightly bigger than the diameter of the screw. So it's imperial sizes, so I keep it in inches. So if I don't clamp it too tight, we get 0.166 inches, right? And now I look for that in my set. I think every repair shop should have this set. I use it all the time. So 0.166, the number 19, but that's the measurement, and I normally use the number 18, and that's the one we'll use. I just didn't know if it was going to be the same one for a vintage one, but I normally use number 18 for a Fender. Squires are different. So now let's do some drilling. Once again, we want the screw to pass through the body without engaging the threads. I'll show you how I do that. It just takes a minute, and it takes 2 minutes if I'm streaming while I'm doing it. So this is it. In this case, it barely removed any material. Okay, and now we check. See, now it's passing through very nicely. just like that. That's what we want, a tight fit, but so that you can just pull it out. Okay, that's how these bolt-on bodies should be made at the factory. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to put the body away while we work on the neck. And let's put the drill bits away. Yeah, I'm not sure how many drill bits are inside of this set. I think it's 166, I'm not sure. It's almost 200 drill bits. And this set is Imperial. Another thing that we want to do while we're at it is we want to countersink those screw holes. And sometimes we can just do this by hand without the power tool. Here. So now you can see how this is bulging outwards. And we don't want that, right? Because we want a snug fit. Well, if we use the micro tilt adjustment, it wouldn't be a snug fit on these two screw holes, but anyway, we want it to be countersunk like this, so we don't have that bulging edge. Again, that's another thing that they should do at the factory. I prefer to do this by hand because then I can really feel how deep I'm going. We don't want to go too deep, but we don't want, this is still protruding a little bit, so and this is still not flush. So this is exactly why I have these little tools here, because I need to do this all the time on Fender guitars. Okay, let's start cleaning the fingerboard. But before we do, we protect the nut. I like to use this tape. This is a delicate surface painter's tape, so not the blue tape. And I noticed it rips easily in this direction. So I always rip it so that I can use 2 layers like this. Okay. These frets are oxidized, right? So we want to remove the oxides, and you know, the wood has, it looks like some kind of buffing compound or something, I don't know, stuck in the wood grains. Why don't we have a look at that? Just wonder what it is. So this is what I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks annoying that it's there, but it is there. So maybe we can remove most of it with the brush. The frets are called nickel silver, which is a misnomer. There is nickel in them, but no silver. It's basically a brass alloy, brass mixed with nickel, probably 18% nickel. So now all I do is I'm going to brush it off like that. So hopefully this will remove a lot of those you know, that buffing, polishing compound, whatever it is, inside of the wood grain, and also remove most of the oxidation from the frets. So the frets will turn green when they oxidize a lot, if they're exposed to moisture, like sweat, and it's because they're brass. It's a brass alloy, which means there's a high percentage of copper, and copper turns green when it oxidizes. But there is no silver in this alloy. Hold on, I just need to reply to a text message. He did. Around 8 p.m. Sorry about that. This looks better already. Here. So I can't remember which fret we were looking at. I just remember that the neck was almost balanced out like this. So it might have been the 7th fret or something like that. Let's have a look again here. Yeah, so you can see right here that there's still a little bit of this compound left next to the fret, and you can see traces of the compound inside of these, but it seems like the brushing works, and I'm able to remove at least most of it. It looks better. So I'll continue doing this. And I'm going in the direction of the wood grain, so yeah, I think it's all good. Yeah, this definitely looks much better. Okay, let's do a quick visual inspection. It looks very good, quite clean. I don't even see any compound stuck. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Good. So now with the neck like this, I want to see, without the strings on, if we have a little bit of a back bow. Probably on the treble side, right? We have a differential relief. Let's see. Oh no, we have a little bit of relief left. Look at that. Okay, so what I want to do now is crank up the truss rod just a little bit. So we know that the truss rod does work. So tighten it a bit so that we get a little tiny bit of a back bow, which now this is a rocking, so on the treble side we have a back bow. On the bass side we still have relief, because remember we have a differential relief, right? So maybe I want to tighten it just a little more. Let's check this side. And here you can see there's a high spot here around the 7th fret. Okay, this is what I want now for the next step of the procedure. I will use, well, I made this myself. This is a short leveling beam made out of I found it in a dumpster in front of a place that cuts countertops. So they dump a bunch of these all the time. And this is granite, maybe? I don't know, something. It's really straight, right? So it's a short piece. And I just want to go over the frets because the neck has a slight curve, like a back bow. I'll be able to hit the tops of the frets in sections. So it's almost like a level crown and polish. And you know, I did check all the frets at one point when I examined the guitar initially. So let me just do this now again without the strings on. So here there's like a tiny little high spot on the 7th fret on the bass side. A tiny spot here on the 9th fret. So, as you can tell, these frets are very even. Only two tiny uneven spots which would have easily been missed with the strings on and with all the buildup of the oxides on these frets, right? So now that we cleaned the frets, I'm just giving them a little leveling, I guess. This is doing a finer work than the fret kisser could do, right? Let me check these two. So seventh and ninth fret. Seventh on the bass side. Still there. This is a really, really fine sandpaper. I think it's 800 grit, I think I put on this. And it's been used a lot, so. Not 800, P800. There's a difference. So this took off just a tiny bit of material from any potentially high spots. So now that 9th fret is completely flush, and here we had the 7th fret. I'm not detecting anything anymore, okay, even when I wiggle. So that's good, okay, we're done with that. I'm looking at the reflection, and I'm seeing that, you know, there are a few spots where the frets are a little flat on top, not even all of them. So I will hit them with the, which one? With the crowning file, this one. This side, okay. So here, 2nd fret. So this is not taking, removing material from the tops, just from the sides around that flat surface. And I'm seeing that because I'm looking at the reflection up close, so I can see where it seems to be a little bit flat. And on some frets, it's just a section of the fret. So on this fret, this is the 6th fret, the G string. I guess this was the player's favorite note because there's a little dimple here. I hope this doesn't interfere with the clarity of the sound. But this 9th fret is quite flat here. Only on the treble side, on the 9th fret. Like I said, I'm not seeing this flatness on every fret. Okay. Maybe here. So once again, this fret dressing is in fact removing material from the frets, which is why we will do the knot after we do the frets. Okay, and now it's time to decide. So hold on, let me examine. So based on the surface of the frets, I need to determine which grits to use to do the dressing. So there's a little dimple here. This is the 3rd fret, the B string. Okay, so we're not like doing a full level crown and polish, but that dimple will almost disappear when we do all the buffing and polishing. So we see these scratches, right? So I think we need to start with about 600 grit. I'm tempted to start with 400. And when I say 400 or 600, I mean P 400 or 600, right? Now here you see the scratches going in this up and down direction. That's from my leveling beam, right? And now I want to show you that 6th fret dimple, which is here. So this is the dimple I'm seeing on the 6th fret, right there. Right? But if I zoom out, you can see the rest of the fret. And now if we look at the 7th fret or the 5th fret, there are no dimples, but there's this dimple here. Okay. I'm going to start with P400 grit because we have, these frets are pretty high. In fact, let me measure. Okay. I'll use my dial indicator. So when I place it on a flat surface, I can turn this dial to 0. And now I put it over a fret, and here it's zeroed out. So the height is not the same everywhere. It's as little as 1.5 millimeters, as much as 1.16 and a half. Yeah, I'm confident that we can use 400 grit and then work through all the grits. So, because some of those scratches are pretty deep. Okay, give me a moment to put this together. Okay, I'll show you how I'm putting my grids here. That's 400, 600. Again, I'm not saying P, but it is P. I have them color-coded. I want to see if I can show you a section where it's actually written on the back. And then this is green, little green dots. That's P800. You can see this here. Okay. We'll do these 4 up to 1000, and then we'll switch to the polishing pads. I'm just putting the camera here so you can watch. Maybe like this. Okay, fine. The nut is taped off, right? Yeah, this camera now is not really positioned nicely for this. Hold on. How about this? All right, so now you see it this way. If I turn it, which I will, you'll see it like this. Okay. This will hit all the high spots as well, and we'll end up with frets that look like jewelry, okay? This isn't something you would do every time on the guitar. This is something that if this was a really high-end guitar, one would hope it would have been done by the builder. But then you need to maintain the frets, okay, to slow down the wear and tear. I am at a P800 grit right now. So sometimes I might start with 800 grit. That's why I look at the frets. I have a microscope. I look at the surface, and I use my best judgment when I make a decision. Because every guitar is going to be different. So this one had scratches that were pretty deep, and you can't buff that out. You need to go through a few grits of sandpaper first to get rid of the scratches. Because if you start buffing over scratches, you are making a wavy surface. It'll show up as a wavy surface when you look through the microscope. And it'll never look good. Yeah. That's 1,000. Okay, my hands are getting dirty. Okay, but we're not done yet. This is just the beginning. Let's put this away. And I need my glove and my polishing pads. Okay, here. Normally I would be watching something on Netflix or maybe another guitar repair video, believe it or not. I like to watch other people. Okay, that's that. Now we go through 9 grits from 1,500 to 12,000 with these polishing pads. They are color-coded. Okay, I'll just go quickly through all the grits without talking too much. I use a glove when I do this because, well, I think for obvious reasons. Some fretboards I do tape off, some not. This kind of fretboard I never do. I usually don't. I do vacuum my bench periodically, but I never use steel wool, so there's no steel wool in my carpet. You know, I noticed I am getting a lot of dislikes on these live streams. I know you guys don't see them because now YouTube doesn't show dislikes anymore. But, you know, on some videos like 50%. So I think some people don't realize that these are live streams. And they just think that it's too boring to watch through them. And I don't blame them. But, you know, this is why I keep a separate channel for live streaming. I don't want the live streams to confuse the people who signed up for the other videos, for the long-form edited videos on the main channel, Guitar Quackery. So if you like live streams, you can sign up, subscribe to this channel. If you like both, you can subscribe to both channels. I'm also thinking of so the live streaming from the repair bench is an experimental thing. So I'm thinking of coming up with a theme, like a discussion theme. So I could be just working on something without narrating my work, and I could just be talking about whatever live streamers would normally talk about, something other than the actual work that I'm doing. So I could be talking about the new Spark 2 amplifier, for example, which I bought, and I'm having some issues with it. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. I need to run some more tests before I start saying anything bad about the equipment. Maybe I just have a faulty unit. I'm going to exchange it and see what happens. So, you know, they produce thousands of those. Every now and then there's going to be a bad one, right? So maybe I just got a bad one. And I don't want to give it a negative review. It would not be fair, right? If I just happen to get a bad one. So I'll exchange it, see what happens. But, so I bought one for the house. I'm thinking of buying another one for here. And maybe I could live stream some live jams, practice. Yeah, I don't know. Like when I work on a guitar, I could, wrap it up and then play it for 5 minutes with a jam track. Sorry. Yeah. So we're not done yet. Now I'm going to use this thing. This is a leather. Okay. But you see, right now I would have a hard time talking while I'm doing this, so let me try to talk. See, I don't know. So, I need to think about it. Maybe I'll try a few live streams like that and see if I can talk about something else while I do my job. Where am I? You see, and I'm getting distracted as well. Yeah. So that was a leather treatment. Now let's clean the fingerboard with this. And yeah. So that's the funny thing with YouTube. I don't know who's watching. Some kids might be watching me, and I don't want to be showing things that might hurt the kids. So I think you know what this is, but it's not something that kids should use without supervision or inhale the fumes. But I think you know what this is. I'm removing all the junk. And when I say kids, I really mean anyone under 18. So there have been some YouTube videos that have gotten people in trouble. So this thing that I'm using is not healthy, so this is why I keep my face away. It's very volatile, and I let it evaporate in front of me. I don't keep my face above it, and I use a glove. That's all I'm going to say in this video. And just one more. But we're not done yet. We need to buff the frets. And because this is you know, toxic chemical, I put these outside. It does evaporate quickly. These are very high ceilings. Yeah, put this here. Okay. I don't need my glove anymore. Now, buffing. Okay, buffing. I just put a new buffing wheel on this grinder rotary tool. And here, I think I've already done that, but I'm not sure. Okay, I have maybe like this. Good. Cool. So it's a new wheel. I need to make sure it's even, right? You see, this is 80 grit. Yeah, I've done this already, yeah. 120 grit. We're good. I usually do this when I install the wheel, so I did do it. Now let's do some buffing. And I need something from here. A microfiber cloth. Music Nomad. Music Nomad does make some good tools. I like quite a few of their tools, not all of them. Well, here's the thing. I could use these fret guards, okay, like this. All right, individually. Or you know, and then I need to move it. Or I could use the Music Nomad fret shield. They come in different sizes. And let me see, this one is 25.5-inch scale length. Yeah. So in this case, it does fit perfectly. It doesn't always. And that's because Fender doesn't always make the exact same scale length. Does it fit perfectly? So for the buffing stage, I do like to use the fret shield in some cases. So let's use it. I've been streaming for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 52 seconds. And this is a nut repair video, but we haven't touched the nut yet. We did do an assessment. of the nut. Yeah, these fret shields come with 5 rubber bands. They're black. As you can see, I have yellow rubber bands. These are not the original ones. I kind of like the black ones, but they, you know, rubber bands don't last forever. Okay, so now it's a fresh buffing wheel, so I do need to break it in a little bit. So I'll just go over all the frets with this one first. And then the other one. Oops. Okay. I think it's broken in. With the fret shield, this should go fairly quickly. Oh. So I'm not showing you the other view. Here it is, if you insist. So with the 3 frets. This is time consuming. But this whole multi-step fret dressing procedure would not be done every time you do a cleaning or even fret buffing. Just you need to do all those steps before you can get to this buffing stage. And later you can buff by hand. Or I could even be buffing by hand now. But yeah. I feel like I should say something. I feel uninspired. Oh yeah, I'm working on some new videos for the main channel. I don't know how many of you watching are subscribed to the main channel, but there was a video that I took down that I really liked about I don't know the title of the video anymore, but hidden secrets of nut fillings. So I find quite a few nuts that have fillings in them, and the fillings fail over time. Those super glue, baking soda, whatever fillings, they do fail over time, most of them. I think it has a lot to do with surface preparation, and I think that the super glue and baking soda mixtures are very inconsistent in terms of ratio of baking soda with super glue. So I don't think that they have a high rate of success. So I did a video about that, and then I took it down because it took me a few years to compile video recordings for that video, and I was also collecting nuts that I've removed from guitars, and I couldn't find those, all of them, when I was making the video. And then I published the video, and then I found a whole bunch of them, and then I also found some recordings, old recordings, that were saved in, on the computer in folders that, were not labeled properly. So when I initially made the video, I couldn't find all the recordings, I couldn't find all the nuts. So I'm remaking that video. It'll have everything that the original video had, plus more. And to make it even more interesting, today somebody brought a guitar, a Fender from the factory, Nashville Tele, that's never been serviced by a technician, so they bought it brand new. So the guitar is not brand new right now. It's been used for about a year, but it's been used lightly and it's never been serviced. And it shows that somebody at the factory put a filling on the high E string and didn't even do it nicely. So I will have to make a recording of that and also include that in the new version of the video. So that should be coming up. Also, I will have a few giveaway videos, 2 or 3 of them. And oddly enough, I'm having a hard time finding people that want to take guitars for free. And I got some good guitars. I made an appointment with a guy today, and he started acting weird or something, I don't know. He was talking to me on the phone, and there was a lot of background noise. I couldn't really hear everything he was saying. But he did not come to pick up a free guitar. I wanted to give him a D'Angelico acoustic guitar, but brand new. But he didn't come. So I don't know what I'll do with all the guitars that I bought. I bought a bunch of guitars for giveaways, and they are just taking up space in my storage, where I normally keep guitars, customer guitars. Okay, so maybe that guy didn't want to be in the video, because I did tell him that's the deal. You get a free guitar, but you need to sign a paper that you agree to be in a Guitar Quackery video accepting the guitar. So initially he said no problem, so maybe he had second thoughts about that, I don't know. I hope he doesn't think that the guitar was stolen. It wasn't, I bought it. I could see how someone might have second thoughts if they thought, well, maybe he stole the guitar somewhere and now it's, I don't know. He didn't say that, but you know, I'm trying to think why. I'm having a hard time finding people to accept guitars, and he's not the only one. Okay, one more fret. I give some guitars to the studio so they can do their promotions and give away guitars. But again, their customers will need to agree to be featured in a Guitar Quackery video. So, and you know, I think they have someone. Okay. Now, let's do this. I want to remove all the buffing compound. And we're not done yet. I don't want to say this is just the beginning, because it isn't. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's already tomorrow. Okay. This is a little bit warmed up. It's not very warm, so I can already charge the battery. Here I have a charger here. Speaking of batteries, my computer needs to be charged. Okay, this is charging here. Let's see, I have 4 viewers currently. Okay. Okay, now the buffing paste goes on the frets. And this is another buffing wheel, not the same one. Finer one, right? Less is more, right? So when you do any kind of buffing, more paste or buffing compound isn't going to do a better job. You're just going to be wasting the paste. It's like toothpaste. In the commercials, they show you that you put a good amount on the toothbrush. You really don't need that much. But they want to encourage you to use more toothpaste so you can buy more toothpaste. Okay. I have hours and hours of recordings of really interesting projects that I'm not sure if I'll ever put together into long-form videos. Because it takes a long time to do all the editing. But maybe now with the live streaming, these interesting projects will end up on YouTube, but they won't be edited into long-form videos. I'm also thinking of doing a separate channel for shorts. Shorts are really not my thing, but I can't fight the trend. So I was thinking maybe if I do just a separate channel. I've researched this whole thing about shorts a little bit, and some YouTubers say that it hurt their channels because shorts do attract a lot of subscribers, a lot of people who subscribe on impulse, and then some channels end up with thousands of subscribers, but not a lot of those subscribers are going to watch their long-form videos. So their subscriber count to viewing our ratio is low, and that somehow can hurt the channel. So I'm thinking of maybe just doing a separate channel for shorts, and then in some of the shorts I might mention that if you want to watch long form videos, then go to the Guitar Quackery main channel. Like now I'm saying, if you want to watch edited videos, you can go to the other channel. But if you like live streams, this is the channel. I don't know. I'm not a YouTube expert. I don't even have 4,000 subscribers on the main channel. It's been on for 2 years, 2.5 years maybe. I don't know if it's worth it. Yeah, so these frets are now like mirrors. Oh, I didn't show you this view. It's better to be in focus, I think. See, sometimes this lens just won't focus. I don't know why. Okay. As you can see, I keep moving the buffing wheel so that I don't overheat the frets. Yeah. How about that? They do look shiny, but it's more about reducing friction. Now we can remove this. Make sure I don't scratch the frets. And look at that. Yeah. So, from here. Yeah. Okay. Now we are going to be oiling the fingerboard, and a little bit of buffing paste that go through the cracks. That's normal. You can't avoid it. So with the oiling, we'll remove that as well. I think you can see that if I show you this way. There's a little bit of buffing paste on the wood, right? So the oiling will remove that. Now, I don't put a whole bunch of oil. Hold on. Okay, so where are we here? Yeah, I'm building shelves on that side. Yeah, the shop needs shelves. It's a really tiny shop, and there's another like bench here with tools and stuff, and it's, you know, going in this direction, and I don't like it. So if I ever want to have someone else working with me, it's just too tight. I need to build shelves. Okay, I just put a little bit. And now I rub it on the frets, and you know, I also push the napkin into that crack between the fret crown and the fingerboard. So that's where that buffing paste is, right? Nice and shiny. Yeah, so that reflection needs to look even when you tilt it. Okay, it does. Otherwise, it means that the frets are, you know, not even. Like when they're hammered in and not leveled, you would get that. Yeah, we're not done yet. So there's more. And where I have it here. So I'm going to hold on. Put this away. Okay, good. And I can remove the tape from here now, okay? What I could do is I could clean the body a little bit, or maybe not, maybe next time. Let me see. Let me see. So I can clean it a little bit, but I won't do like all the detailing work tonight. And oh, these microfiber cloths are great. I like, you know, these are just from Amazon. I use the guitar detailer to clean. I've tried many different products. This is my personal favorite one. Yeah, I won't do all the detailing work tonight. This is just a quick preliminary cleaning. I'm kind of tired, I guess. So the chrome is damaged, so it's not going to look like it just came out of the factory. Okay, just for tonight, this is enough. And I guess I'll put the neck back on and then put the guitar away for the night or for a few days. Tomorrow is Sunday, right? Okay. The next part isn't very interesting. I will just put the neck back and then I will put the guitar in the case. Not much to see. Yeah. Rubbish Guitar Bloke. Hello, you're up late or am I early? 4 a.m. in the UK. Rubbish Guitar Bloke, thank you, yes. Yeah, I'm up late and you're up early. If you're still up, if you're still watching. Rubbish Guitar Bloke, after watching one of your earlier videos, I bought a rechargeable mini polisher from Temu. Looks great, only 10 pounds. What's that little polishing buffing block you initially use with it? Thanks. How about I put an Amazon link in the description? So I will do that. Why not? You ask me a question, I will put a link. Happy to do that. I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon, unfortunately. I wish I could avoid it. This is also from Amazon. But yeah, so let me look at my purchase history. And I'll just put the links. So they will be affiliate links. So Amazon does require me to disclose this fact and to disclose the fact that I get a commission at no extra cost to you if you use those links to buy the products through the links. It's nonsense that I need to explain that, but if I don't, I can lose my affiliate privileges. Okay, so I did say it, and I will also write it. Yeah, so Rubbish Guitar Bloke, you can use the comments section later and post a link to your videos if you have any, or to your shop or to your YouTube channel, whatever. It's all good. It's all like for the community. I don't mind. In fact, I encourage it. Okay, friends, so thank you very much for watching. I'm here late, and I need to take a break, and I might. No, I don't think I'll stay later. Okay, it's Saturday. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you like it, just, you know what to do. If you don't like it, I wish you'd tell me why, so I can improve. If you don't like it, just use the comment section, please. All right? Oh, a new viewer just joined at the end. Sorry. I guess feel free to watch the replay. Okay? Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next live stream.